Oh, hell no. Hello, 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 my people. How are you doing? How you doing? It's been a while. I know. We're gonna talk about that, are we? I don't know. But yeah, anyway, it's been a while. Over here, I'm I'm fine, I think. Um, kind of like physically tired though. That's my issue these days. Yeah, I'm pretty tired, but that's because I don't sleep that well, and I really have to work on that. I really, really, really have to work on that. I have to find like a nighttime routine that works better for me, and that also doesn't make me feel like I don't like I'm not free, right? Like, okay, you're gonna have to robotically do XYZ, right? And because right now my nighttime routine is really not the best. I usually get done with whatever I'm doing like around midnight, but then I go down to the kitchen and clean up. So because I don't want to get in a dirty or a messy kitchen in the morning when I have breakfast. I want to have I want things to be tidy. So yeah, so I do that, and sometimes it takes a little while. But in the meantime, I watch like YouTube videos, the type of am I the a-hole type of stories. That I find that entertaining. And and yeah, or I, watch some TikTok videos, and then suddenly it's 2 a.m. and I'm in bed, like not really sleeping or not sleeping at all. So yeah, I need to work on that. If y'all have suggestions on resources, I'm here and I'm listening. Um, and actually, today I'm gonna talk about one resource that I found. And it's not just for nighttime routine. It's for it's a whole lot of stuff actually. It's for life. And we're gonna talk about self-help books today. But we're gonna get into that later, right? This is the intro, and I want to actually talk about some updates. But before that, let me tell you a little word real quick. Hey, do you have some coin? Yes, because I do need some coins. Um, so yeah, if you can share, if you can spare, I'm here and my hand is out right now. You can't see it, I know, but you can hear my voice. Follow my voice. Go to ftnpod.com/donate. And if you want to make a one-time donation, you can just, enter an amount and be like, boop, 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 boom, send. And, that's it. It's really that simple. But if you want, you can also support like on a monthly basis, and that's with Patreon. You can still go to ftnpod.com/Patreon, I believe, or just ftnpod.com. You'll see the button at the top, and you click on Patreon, and you can start donating about $2 a month, just $2, baby, or more. That's up to you. It's whatever you can, and it's whatever you want. But that's not the only way you can help. Because if you don't have the coin, or if you just don't want to part with your coin, that's okay. You can still do the free thing. and that is sharing, rating, yeah, on whatever app you're using to listen to this podcast right now. And I don't know, leave a review, comment, do all that good stuff that the algorithms like, right? So they can suggest my content to somebody else. Also, join me on TikTok. I know I'm not really active on social media, but we can do something about that, right? If you are active, I will be more active too. That's encouraging. You know what I mean? So, yeah, do the free thing, and I'll be really grateful. All right? Thank you. Okay, so the latest thing that happened is the opening ceremony to the 2024 Paris Olympics, right? Okay, that sounded a little strange. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Have you watched the ceremony? I did. I watched the ceremony, and it was I mean, obviously a lot of work has been put in that thing. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of artists. It was a lot of different spaces. Some things were happening on the sand. Well, of course, the athletes on boats. Also on the banks, you had performances by different artists, dancers. Lady Gaga performed as well. You had I talked about the dancers, but you had also on a bridge, which actually is a bridge that one of the metro lines uses to cross the Seine, and there were some LGBTQ queer kind of moments up there as well. That was that was pretty nice. And there was also, like, actually on that very spot, some kind of confusion. Like, Christians want to be offended so bad, they want to be like victims so bad. I'm sorry, but no, I'm actually not sorry. That happens a lot, and I'm not talking about every single Christian person on the planet. Like, come on, like, I'm talking about the people who are actually harmful to other communities and who leap at any type of opportunity to appear like the underdog, to appear as if people are making fun of them or oppressing them in some way. These specific people, these very harmful people, they are the ones who, want to be oppressed so bad. Well, want to pretend that they are being oppressed, just so they can further oppress the people they actually hate. So there was some confusion on their part about the source of inspiration, and they thought it was about the Christ's Last Supper, except it wasn't. It was another painting with Dionysus, and I believe it was the Dinner of the Gods or something like that, about a wedding. And yeah, wrong call. You were not oppressed. But anyway, so the drag queens and all the all the other stuff that had nothing to do with making fun of Christian people who are very safe in France especially. But one thing that got me really like hollering, well, proud. One thing made me proud, right? It's the way Guadeloupe was represented. That was a pleasant surprise, right? The way that I kind of expected the cauldron to be lit by Marie-Josée Pérec, the how do you say that in English? It's track. The champion. Who was it? The champion in Atlanta. I think she had 4 titles. She held 4 titles in Atlanta at the Olympics, the Olympic Games in Atlanta, and she's from Guadeloupe, and the guy, because they wanted to have a woman and a man, which was a really good idea. The guy was also a guy from Guadeloupe, and it's Teddy Renard, who is a judo, you know, athlete. I don't know how you call them, judoka in French, but anyway, and I think he has 3 Olympic titles, and he's world 11 times a world champion. That was amazing. That was a proud moment, and I know that it pissed off a lot of those racist white folks who just don't want to see anybody black anywhere, and who were really mad in advance, like before the games, that there might be a black artist performing, a black singer performing. So, but anyway, so that one, that was the very end, right? The cauldron, the lighting of the cauldron, and yeah, it was 2 people from Guadeloupe, and that was pretty dope. That was beautiful and dope. And then the Marseillaise, the national anthem, was also sung by a woman from Guadeloupe, like on the roof of the Grand Palais, like the Great Palace, and like holding a flag, a huge flag, and sort of wearing a flag herself. And that woman was from Guadeloupe, and that woman was wearing her afro, and her name is Axel Saint-Cyriel, I believe it is. I'll put all the names in the description down there, so you can see and you can go and support them and pick them up. And the person that all the racists were actually mad about when her name started circulating, I think like a month or 2 ago already, is Aya Nakamura, who is right now one of the French artists who is the most listened to outside of France. And yeah, not only was she there performing, being great, all the symbolism around her was amazing. So she started her show by like getting out of the academy, like the French Academy. That's like, ooh, like this center of culture, of French culture, historical center of French culture, on was it a golden carpet? Was it a red carpet? I think it was a golden one. I don't remember. But anyway, on a huge carpet with her dancers, who of course were dancing, hip hop style, right? And so she's getting out of the academy, dancing with her black ass dancers, and not just black but all kinds. And she's black, of African descent, like. So she's getting out of the academy, singing her stuff, like very urban stuff. And then at some point, the Republican Guard joins in, and the Republican Guard becomes her choir and her orchestra, right? Her band. And they're all playing and singing this kind of the lingo from the hood, and it's the Republican Guard. I mean, I know the racists were losing their shit. And it was delicious. I cackled. I mean, it was not. Let me be honest. It was not the best performance, right? Um, but I cackled and I lived. I really got my life. It was delicious. I could just like imagine all the tears. Delicious, I tell you. So yeah, and there was Celine Dion and then other stuff, that happened, and that was nice. Um, it was 4 hours long. Yeah, it was long, but I was like, I know the guy who orchestrated all of this, who did the program and all of that was like, you know what, y'all racist ones, y'all are gonna suffer today, suffer, and I was there for it. I really was. Okay, so I talked a lot, and I really want to get to the main topic today. And actually, it might not even be the main topic because I spent so long talking about the Olympics. Um, and I actually want to get through this topic fairly quickly. And it's about well, all the self-help books because I've read a few of them, right? I did. The last one, and I'm really at the conclusion right now. Not even the conclusion, the last words. It's the Miracle Morning, and that's by Hal Elrod, I believe. And wow, I read that. Actually, I have two in mind. It's that one because it's really fresh, and another one I read last year, which is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and I forgot who the author is, but that book, I mean, another book by a cishet white man um, with some money, who is telling you that it's all about your mindset. It's all about not caring. It's all about not worrying too much. It's all about deciding to be happy. And I really wanted to get some quotes, but I don't wanna necessarily like crap on the people who wrote the book, but I really wanna like talk about those books as concepts, those books as tools actually that kind of drive culture. Not kind of, they do, and well, they to me they serve on the way culture already is, but also kind of reinforce that, right? And sometimes push things a little further. I hope that I hope that makes sense. I hope that's making sense. But yeah, I mean it's what's already there, and because I mean there's a market. That means there's a market, right? If there's already this thought process out there, this belief out there, um, you're gonna sell better because people are already primed to believe what you are gonna sell them. So yeah, so they take advantage of what's out there and then reinforce it. That's what I'm trying to say, and I hope that that's making sense. One thing I want to say is that I don't I don't necessarily think that the people writing these books have, nefarious projects in mind when they write these books. I mean, they sure want to make some money, um, but that in itself is not like a bad thing, right? But what they're clueless. That's the problem. And how can you write a book pretend that it's so universal, and without having a care for who is going to read that and how they're going to take it in. And there's both like the self-centeredness of whiteness in there and of maleness. There's a lot of that. And I think like the more I look at things, and this is not like a research paper or anything, but the more I look at things and the more I feel like masculinity in the Western world is deeply related to whiteness. Like it's really, really close. That like these two things work together. All the self-centeredness of masculinity is found in whiteness. Like nothing outside of how whiteness perceives itself is acceptable or is worthy. And same, nothing outside of the patriarchy and masculinity is worthy, or like masculinity is the universal. The patriarchy is the norm and the universal, just as whiteness is. And that's what I find in those books, right? And of course, they're trying to sell you these things by telling you, you know what? Something bad happened to me once. And that's in the case of Hal Elrod, Miracle Morning. The title escaped me. And of course, that is kind of a caricature of saying just something bad happened to me once. But it's like, okay, I had cancer, or I was in an accident. And in his case, both things happened. And that's devastating, right? We can all acknowledge that. We can all understand that. And we can also understand that neither an accident nor cancer cut access to his whiteness and his maleness, right? It did not eliminate any of that, right? Because you have Black people, you have Black women, you have Black trans women, you have Black trans women who are disabled, who are lesbians, like, you know, with different layers, multiple layers of marginalization. And these Black trans women who are lesbian and who are disabled also have cancer and also have accidents, and they have less access to resources. They have less money. They have less support in the medical community for their needs, right? All of that, right? All the bad things that happened to cishet white men also happen to other marginalized communities who then have to suffer the consequences of these bad things, as well as the things related to their identity that they have to carry every single day and every single moment of every day. So I absolutely hate it when I hear these authors, these cishet white men, talk about their challenges, and then how, despite that, you should not be making excuses for whatever whatever situation, because that's the thing. They never talk about your identity. They never talk about your about the things that exclude you from the system of whiteness and white supremacy. I mean, let's just say it. They never talk about that. They only talk about the cosmetic stuff that absolutely everybody goes through. Not every single person, right? But that every single person can be subjected to. But not mentioning racism, not mentioning sexism, not mentioning all the systems that disadvantage some people and absolutely put their weight, like the weight of these systems, behind cishet white men. Like, so, yeah, I mean, so when I hear things like, you are able to choose whether you're happy or not, and I'm like, oh, okay. No matter how much good, like positive energy I put in, like behind my smile, if that racist person doesn't want to give me the job, I'm not getting the job, or the house or whatever. I'm just not getting it because a racist person said no. So what are you talking about? You know? I really have a hard time with that. Really, 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 really have a hard time with it. So yeah, so this thing about yeah, something bad happened to me once. Like, oh, in the case of the subtle art of not giving a fuck, like, oh, one of my friends died. That's horrific, you know? That's really horrific. But it's also like, well, you know, I worked really hard that summer. I worked for my dad's company, and yeah, I'm like, bro, you worked for your dad, so your dad had enough money to pay you, to pay an extra person, or at least pay you. And your dad has some type of access, then what are you talking about? Or like, so I was having this very casual conversation with my very rich and famous friend who has a lot of money and access. And we were talking about insert whatever here. And I'm like, so you're telling me that you're having these very casual conversations with people who actually could put you on, you know? People who have all the resources to make a phone call for you, right? But you're only focusing on, in that book that you're writing, you're only talking about how your mindset is everything, and the type of advice that your very rich, powerful friends gave you, right? So work out. Oh, have you tried working out? Yeah, but I don't have money, or I'm losing my house here. Yeah, but have you tried working out? Okay, I'm sure they told you that, but I'm sure it did not stop at that. I'm sure they were like, the next thing was, but also give me your PayPal. But also, um, let me give you this check, right? It's not just, have you tried working out? And then your rich, powerful friend just turns around and is like, winks, and just disappears into the sunset. That's not happening. Not if that's your friend. That's not happening. So, at the very least, there's a conversation about what do you need and who can I call on your behalf, right? Um, that's why these books are unbearable. That's the main reason. And I still went through. I don't like not finishing a book, so that's why I still finished The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, and I still went ahead with Miracle Morning. Miracle Morning was a little bit different. No, it was 100% everything I just said. So it's not different in that way. But I do believe that in this book at least, there's some stuff that you can actually take away from that, right? And not the part about you can choose to be happy no matter what happens, like, this is bullshit, absolute bullshit. But the part about finding your routine, and sticking to it in order to find results, and knowing that the results will be limited to whatever your circumstances are. We can't lie about that. I mean, I'm not willing to lie about that. I think and I believe your results truly depend on that. And maybe it's a little different if you are a cishet white man, even if you're not a rich cishet white man, but at least you're a cishet white man who can go around this world that is made for you and claim things and be mediocre in some spaces, as long as you are friendly and are able to hold a conversation with the other cishet white men in charge. Yeah, maybe if you are that, then sure. Even if you're poor, you'll have more chances than a cis gay white man or a trans gay black man, right? You see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so there's some stuff that you can take, like some tips about creating a routine. You can take maybe a little bit of the mindset stuff, because although I don't believe in just like, oh, all you have to do is think positively and you will, you got to do some work. Whether you got to do some work, right? You just have to do some work. So although I don't believe in that, I do believe that you can't just be like, you still have to work on yourself, right? And present your best self wherever you're going, because that is more appealing. And your best self, not pretending that the self that you are is this universal thing that doesn't exist, or that is actually a cishet white man. If you are not a cishet white man, this universal bullshit is not for you. You are you are operating under under a different reality, and you need to take that into account wherever you go. But knowing that, knowing who you are, knowing the limits of your reality, you can still put your best foot forward and be your best self out there. That is extremely important. One thing I wanted to address about these books too is, I mean, most of them are American books. And actually, two things I want to say. I really don't get why you get these books and it's like you already bought the book, but they spent like the first 5-6 chapters trying to sell you the book still, right? Telling you why it works and giving you all the testimonials and how it changed some people's lives and all of that stuff. Bitch, I already bought the book. Why are you trying to sell the book? And that is very frustrating. That is even a book that I purchased for someone like really close to me about multiple sclerosis. And like, let me learn more about this. And it's the Valls protocol. And I'm like 3-4 chapters in, and it's still like testimonials and shit. Like, I'm like, can we just get to the protocol? Can we just try to understand the concepts behind the protocol? And why are you still trying to sell this book? But also, it's not just selling this book, because that's the thing. It's selling the other stuff around it. It's selling the community. And this is the second point I really wanted to get into. It's why all these damn books need to be like a cult, right? It's like they're creating their new cult. I don't want to be, I'm not looking for a guru. I'm reading this book because I'm trying to find some information that could help me or could help the people around me. And I want to be prepared. I want to make some changes in my life. I want to see how I can support. I mean, I want some type of progress. And I want to understand the steps that the writer took. I want to understand um I just want to learn things, right? I'm not trying to be part of your cult. I'm not trying to, you know, recognize you as my guru. Hell no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Um, so yeah, it's the selling, it's the join the group, the Facebook group and the program, some other program or some other like book that they wrote on the same topic to try to like corner the market on that specific topic or that angle. It's all of that stuff and it's tiring because the actual nugget, the actual stuff that you are looking for is buried in there somewhere, but it takes work to get there sometimes. And in the subtle art of not giving a fuck, there was no nugget. There was just none. I'm sorry. At least with Hal Elrod, which is absolutely delusional to me, the approach that he's taking is delusional if you are not a cishet white man. So even at least with his approach, there's some stuff you can take about creating the routine and all of that stuff I was mentioning earlier. But yeah, what do you think about those books and the format? That format where they still like 3, 4, 5 chapters in, they're still trying to sell the book. This especially when you get them like as audiobooks and you have the excited voice reading the testimonials like girl, do you need to be this extra? Come on now. Can you just actually I could do without the testimonial, but because just whatever voice you read them in, they sound ridiculous. They just sound ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, y'all let me know your thoughts. What's the last one you read? And do you read them at all, actually? I'm curious to know. Alright, tell me. Share your thoughts. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. I will be back in 2 weeks. I'm not going anywhere. Maybe we can talk about my absence. Do we need to talk about my absence? No, we really don't. It's okay. At least there was nothing bad, right? Nothing bad happened. I was really busy. I was really busy with I spent a lot of time writing. I also spent some time with family. I also a little less fun, but I also had a little moment of need for self-care. There was that as well. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, overall, it was not like a bad thing. It was just a little hiatus. It's the summer. Um, but anyway, thank you for being here today, right? And in 2 weeks, all right? We'll talk soon. Once again, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And donate if you can. Otherwise, it's fine. But in any case, I'll talk to you in 2 weeks. All right. Bye bye.